Okay. After the time of Cyrus was over, and the universe for a time was quiet, there is no ruler, but there is peace. But there is none that rose up to conquer the land. But this all continuation of the third universe. There was a first universe. The rival warlords rose up in rebellion against one another. The dimensions were formed by despotic elders, and heroes and legends rose up. The greatest of these was that of Sulpol, who destroyed the mighty Pendra, who was a creation of Dr. Sudi of the Sumatrans and became infused with mystical power, became a living being, and controlled the Magazon and all that stuff. Also, the Fidelians first came, and Immortal Z, Zibonia, the Lord of Vengeance, against that of Delator, and Wanadon was the greatest. He was the legend of all. He defeated both Resurrected Pendril and Dark Damien, who was formed after Light and Dark Damien was split by evil Dr. Mobile, Center of Dimensions, and he ruled the. And Wanadon, after Wanadon, the Madonians ruled, and then it came. No, that was the diagram, my bad. After Wanadon, the universe was, relinquished control. Then that came the rise of the Three Kingdoms, became rise of the Lord of Vengeance after the Fidelians fell, Three Kingdoms of the Delator, the Jedi, and the Baja, and then that's how after that, rescuing the Midorians from the Fidelians' control, Delator, and then made peace, and then the Midorians was like scoring these people. And the closer you were upset, like what the Midorians were doing. That's how I got the rise of the Doctorans, and the closer you fought in various locations, and then the final battle between. I was doing the God Warrior Saga, the first God Warrior Saga, that is. And at the end of the day, at the end, Delta won, but the Doctorans fused to form the Ultimate Doctoran, and they formed the Mythical Lion against the dragon, the three-headed dragon of Delator. They defeated the dragon, and the allies, the Guardian and the Doctoran, were allies in fighting against Delator, but they were part of the Fidelians before that. And the final battle between the Doctorans and the Guardians was Planet Guardian. Guardians god forms more than an angel. And the Doctorans invaded the planet, but they had to evacuate the planet after the battle was over because the planet was forming, and Guardian couldn't hold back his dark side any longer. And then the Ultimate Doctor, after all the ships, all the civilians and the populace of the planet escaped, the Ultimate Doctor formed together once again after the Doctor family, and they were like, "What is that? A giant planet, evil force, like giant volcano was in the center." It was the first utterance of Magontezin. The Ultimate Doctor, with his wings and his flaming swords, moved to the center of this monster to defeat it. Now, beside the Doctorans continued to rule, but the colony led by General Shea rose up, and they were like allies of Delator, the former Emperor of the Universe. And they wanted vengeance, and for a time, the Doctor the colonies were fighting, and then unconventional means, after the first defeat, General Shea was destroyed because he had his guns destroy Planet 1 for Doctor and 1 for Guardian, and he failed, and his son Convern, took the reins, and he made his father into a cyborg, and Cyborg General Shea. Cyborg General Shea was fused with the technology to get the weaknesses of the cowboys, of the leaders of the Doctor family, and then they were working together. They were defeated, some were captured, and then Guardian and Doctor son Elend Doctor and Guardian worked together on the ship to rescue his family, and then Guardian sacrificed his life to defeat the cyborg and all the escape both his ship, but the cyborg survived. And then Doctor and family united again, used all their powers to hit the weak points of Cyborg General Shea. Cyborg General Shea was defeated, and Claiborne was forced to retreat for a time, right? And then Patella Khan were, on the rise again. And they made alliance with the Chaldeans, the Jerusalem were Chaldeans, right? And they decided, the Lord them all in the castle, because there's just the next generation of the Doctor and then by Hathorn, because the old guard, his father, mother, uncle, and had passed away, and even him and his sister and a group of others at Madonia Castle, right? And then the Patel Khan feigned a retreat because they said, these Patel Khan are weak. And then one was in the castle, and then Homeboy launched a missile, which was unconventional at that time, destroying the castle and destroying the Doctorant. Once again, the universe was filled up, it was made vacant. And since the Chaldeans were like descendants of the Sumachean, part of Sumachean space, he met with his friends marketing of Sumachean to start conquering the space of Sumachean so they could rule the universe, and the Telecom were the Chaldeans' allies. And then Martin fell in love with the Chaldeans, but another Sumachean power named Aretha, right? And he was persuaded by Aretha to betray Cardan in order to gain the interest for himself. So the Chaldeans were now surrounded by their former allies, about to be destroyed, but the Telecom came just in time and helped to beat back these traitors. Martin was destroyed, but the Chaldeans escaped. And so the Chaldean and Battalican forces surrounded the Chaldeans and the Chaldean castle after their forces were destroyed, right? They were defeated, they were destroyed, right? And all that good stuff. But before then, during the conquest of Markeden's conquest, before he betrayed Chaldean, he made war with Avion, who were Magazine, who survived since they were formerly enslaved by the Fidelians. And prior to that, eons prior to that, Pendro. And Eleanor was the leader of the Avion. Avion was mostly women, and they had a few men with them. And one of the officers was working on a machine able to time travel or time and space. This was the first time disruption was started, but before he could complete it, his research funding was scrapped to prepare for war against Marcusson, who destroyed and defeated the Avion. And thus, that was the end of that. Put a pin there. And then after such time, as you know, back to the main story, Aretha was defeated, and Chaldean and the Batella Khan ruled as the universe time was up, and they was waiting for the universe to end and for heaven and the universe to form as one, as they would be the last empire. But back in the ash heaps of Madonia Castle in their home planet, the ultimate Doctor, led by Hathorn, had returned, and he boasts of great wings and flew away. An old farmer man that was passing by saw it and was like, "Golly, it's the Doctor!" And he flew by. The armies of Batal Khan and the Chaldean were just waiting, standing by. Khan, knowing in his heart, but Hathorn was coming, but no one else did. And the whole armies wondered why they were there. And then Hathorn, the ultimate Doctor, slammed down, and hundreds of thousands of Battalican and Chaldean troops. And so Hathorn used his wings to blow away the enemy, and he used both his swords to start slashing the enemy. And the Chaldean and Battalican forces were attacking him, but he was beating them all. And then as he rode to the castle, he ran up past a big Battalican giant with a big giant hammer, and ran up against him and slashed him. And he used it to jump over Battalican, who was the little Battalican, a sniveling coward, right? And he did a backflip. It was in slow motion. He did a backflip, and turned his sword in a chain and ripped the chain around Battalican, who was in like the middle floor outside balcony of the castle, and grabbed his neck and slammed him down on the ground, killing him instantly. And then the Chaldean reinforcements came, and in the day, all of the armies of the Battalican, Golden Men, the Silver Men, and the Chaldean were slain, and the castle front gate was completely destroyed. Hathorn then turned back to normal Advent and Castle defeated the gods of the Chaldean of the Chaldeans, and then Hathon and Codon fought right on the top floor, and he fought in duel, but Hathon won, and he did not slay Codon, but spared his life. Right, and after he spared his life, then the first universe ended, and that was the end of the first universe and the original heroes and legends.